Hi guys, this is your boy Emmanuel Ajmaibadu. Go on YouTube and subscribe to Sahara Football. Cheers.
Otto Addo and the Ghana Black Stars. Yesterday, the squad was named by the Black Stars head coach Otto Addo, and it brought about a lot of mixed feelings, personally, for me. It's like we are not learning from history. In 1992, there was an issue with captaincy that cost us the African Cup of Nations. In the lead up to the final, Coach Kwesi Appiah, who was usually the captain, well, this happened way before the tournament started. Coach Kwesi Appiah's captaincy was taken from him and given to Abedi Pele. The reason they gave at the time was that Abedi Pele was a French speaking man. And since the African Cup of Nations was going to be held in a French speaking country of Senegal, they decided that he was more deserving to be the captain of the side. Kwesi Appiah, in his book, talked about it. Leaders do not have to yell. In the lead up to the final, I think suspension hit the Ghana camp, and Abedi Pele was not going to take part in the final between Ghana and I think it was Ivory Coast. The Ghana Black Stars team went into turmoil because the captaincy issue came up once again. It was up in the air again. Rightfully, it had to be given to either Yagola or back to Kwesi Appiah. In the end, Anthony Bafo was giving the captain's armband. It became a huge issue in the Ghana national team. The captaincy armband issue caught us all in and over our heads. And in the end, Ghana lost the African Cup of Nations final on penalties. I think Anthony Bafo was the one who even missed a penalty kick that gave the trophy back to Ivory Coast. That would have been 10 years since we had won the African Cup of Nations from the last time in 1982. We did not win it, and as you know, they say the rest is history. Kwesi Appiah, who this was done against at the time, went back as the head coach of the Ghana Black Stars. A return, a second stint for him. You would have thought that him being in such a situation made him quite uncomfortable and he would not want it to happen to someone else. But alas, he did it. He removed Asamoah Gyan as the captain of the Ghana Black Stars a couple of weeks to the tournament and gave it to Andre Ayew. Yeah. And even though probably it shouldn't have been an issue, you would think that with the history of how the captaincy and everything is, and considering him to be one of the people who went through this during his time, he would have learned a thing or two. He gave over the captaincy to from Asamoah Gyan to Andre Ayew, and that was the beginning of probably our end. We were exited from the round of 16, beating on penalties once again to Tunisia. That was at the AFCON 2019. Fast forward to 2024, and because of this captaincy issue, we might have just lost a chance to qualify for the African Cup of Nations. We're more or less out of AFCON 2025. Yes, you heard me right. Kwesi Appiah and also the coach at the time in 92 and then now Otto Addo are going to go down in history as one of the guys who could not handle the captaincy issue well. Otto Addo, back when we played Sudan in October, made it clear to all of us that he is not someone who just takes a decision. He takes a decision because he's thought it through. He said he has even talked about it when he named Kudus as the next Black Stars captain. He said, I think I've spoken about it. It doesn't matter who takes the armband. Then you come back and tell us that you told Kudus he is not grown into that role yet. What are you doing, man? You now go back and talk to Jordan and tell him to take the captain's armband. Right now, if Jordan had said that he doesn't want the armband again, what would happen? What would you say? The captaincy armband was with Thomas Partey as the assistant. It was with Andre Ayew at first. Andre Ayew was not called up. Thomas Partey was assistant to the next in line. He took it. Now it looks like there's a rift between him and Partey. Rightly so, probably because he said he doesn't see the commitment there. He doesn't see a commitment from him. And that is in light of the last call up in which Thomas Partey decided not to come for the FA to assess him. It's going crazy as the days go by. And I have to say that Otto Addo's handling of this captaincy issue, as has been the case with the other two times I spoke about, is going to be an nadir. We all know what these captaincy conversations in and around the camp of the Ghana Black Stars causes division. And it was clear from how the boys played in the October international games, a draw and a loss, as was the case in September. We have to understand that the handling of these cases with leadership positions is quite delicate. I'm not going to sit down and say and pretend that that is the only reason why probably we are not going to the African Cup of Nations. But I'm also not going to pretend and say that it was not a contributing factor. Otto Addo goofed, in my opinion. He did not handle it well. And it will be a learning curve for him, hopefully, because he is in his first big job since leaving Borussia Dortmund. Ghana is a big football nation. Forget about where we are right now. Every nation goes through these things, but we are a big footballing nation. And the egos at play sometimes here when handling these situations are not the best. It goes on to show that probably what Jordan was complaining to coach Kwesi Appiah about had to do with the captaincy being given to Kudus Mohammed. Kudus Mohammed's headspace was not in the right place. Reports are that he didn't want it, but he was forced to take it and also probably forced to take the number 10 jersey. It all brings into light all these conversations that have been going on and confirms them more or less. I have to be honest, I did not like how Otto Addo is handling things in the national team in terms of the captaincy. Be clear, concise, and consult, Otto, if you are not sure about something before coming out to tell us the whole thing. You were angry, rightly so, about how some of the senior players were behaving. But then you should be the bigger person. You are the head coach of the Ghana Black Stars. You should know how to deal with things. You should be or deal with things in a way that don't cause divisiveness within the team. You should unite the boys to a greater goal. Yeah, they are grown enough, they are good enough to understand the greater goal, but sometimes their egos get ahead of them, and your handling of them is what is going to make sure that probably they do the right thing. Players are supposed to know that the national team is most important and that delivering for the national team goes a long way to help your career. But unfortunately, it's not the case here. It is the case, but they will tell you that's the case, but their actions say something different. The boys of the Ghana Black Stars psychologically don't rate doing well with the national team. And it's unfortunate we find ourselves in this situation. The handling of leadership, the way our coaches and leaders, those in charge of our football, handle the game is not the best. And I hope that this won't happen again. Third time it has happened, let not have the fourth one. We go into the final two games on November 15th and 18th, hoping for a miracle of sorts, but I'll be smart enough to know that it's better to expect less from the Black Stars and then them surprising you. 15th of November, we will play versus Angola away from home. That game is as crucial as we've ever played in all these four qualifier games. Win and Sudan lose, and then we can smell blood. Lose, draw, and then you know it's all over. It's set to be an epic encounter. It's set to be an encounter in which it's not in our hands, it's in someone else's hands to let it slip. But thought I should let you know my thoughts on Otto Addo's handling and the precedent and what it means for us. Let's not get it wrong. Jordan Ayew, we all predicted should take the up man. Him or Alexander Juku, many of you were happy with. How did the coaches not see this? And then went to put pressure on the young kid Kudus Mohammed, who is now probably not going to play any football until December. Quite unfortunate for him. Let me know your thoughts in the comments box on everything. I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great week.